Okay, guys, Wednesday the 7th here in Central Illinois and right around lunchtime. So I just thought I'd give you a quick little update as to what we're doing with the hill climber. We finally got the roof mounted the way we wanted it. These are volt amp trolley poles that I've been in the process of putting together. They come in a kit, and I don't know if you can see it or not. Here again, it's the one-arm paper hanger. But right there, these have got screws. And what we did was we drilled and tapped these lugs. And then there will be a spring that will go all the way around that. And that will make those arms raise up. So I haven't decided if I'm going to use two of these or just one. They are big. It's a big trolley, but here again, I can't decide. The other thing we got to do is we just got some half-inch brass bar stock in, and we're going to take and cut this off. The space between the trolley poles is about a half an inch, and I'll cut it. Actually, I'll cut it to 0.450. That's how wide it's going to be, and then I'll use a grooving tool to cut out the center. So you'll have the outside edges on both sides, and it'll fit right in there, and we'll pin it, and that is what the little wheel will be made out of. So I'll show you how we did this. As far as the roof goes, I'm always fighting as to what will be center. I don't know if you can see that scribe line there. Well, the way I do that is I take my calipers and we get it just like that. Now I know what the distance is on it. It's about 1.8 something. So I just made it 0.90. And let's see. That's what happens when you're left-handed and you're doing everything upside down. Close enough for government work. And what you do is, just like that, and you drag it. That will give you your center line. And believe me, it works real well. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But all we're dealing with is this center, the top. And it works really, really good. And then on the inside, I'll show you how I did this. I'm about as disorganized as you can get. This is really twisty and distorted metal, especially this roof, the way it was stamped out. And the screw, of course, is too long. I'll use something else. And I don't know what the problem is, but the sheet metal on this trolley, virtually impossible to solder, and I don't know why. I've soldered a lot of stuff and have never had the problems that I'm having with this stuff. I've cleaned it and I've sanded it and done all kinds of stuff to it, and it's a ferrous material. A magnet sticks right to it, and I guarantee it isn't stainless steel, not from 1910. I don't know why I'm having so much problems getting this stuff to solder up, but I've been pulling my hair out. Okay, now what we did here, we did the same thing with this. We mounted these plates, which is just sheet steel, just furnace tin, and between the outside edges is 3 inches. So I took the calipers and I moved it into 1.5 inches and did the same thing, drew a center line. And that's close enough for government work. I then took and put brass nuts on there and soldered them. Now, I had no problem soldering this stuff. It's soldering it to this. There's where my problem is. I've busted these out at least 3 times. Now it seems to be pretty good. I got a lot of solder in there, but I don't know what the problem is, and that's why I like the fact that this will be pulling up, not pushing down. So that's how I'm holding the roof on. And what I'll do is I'll put some spacers in the top, because you can just, this sheet metal, you can just keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and the supports there will distort. And it is basically 0.65 from the top to the bottom. So I'll put a shim on that so that when it starts to pull up tight, it'll be pulling up tight against the top of the roof and at that bottom, and there will be little to no distortion on that. So the other thing we got to do is, if we're going to use these, now that I got the center line, I've got to drill a hole out so that we can mount these trolley poles. Like I say, I don't know if I'm going to use 1 or 2 of them. It looks good with 1. It maybe even looks better with 2. I can't decide yet. Going to take, like I've got on the mine engine there, I think that's a 390 bell. I'm going to put a bell probably right here off to the side and catty corner on each end to do that. I might use this for a headlight. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Or I may use the bezel off of the 392. I took and I drilled that out with a 3/8 drill bit, chucked it up in my lathe and just turned it out a little bit, which then the light receptacle, because of the flange right there on the very edge, fits right down there nice and tight. I can solder it or do whatever I want to do with it. I would like to be able to bolt that to the front, because I'm scared to death that I'm going to solder something on there and it's going to break off, because this stuff, I don't know what it is. It just does not want to stick. It's been a real pain. So that's where we're at on this stuff. The other thing that I'll probably do is this needs to be stripped. Get it stripped. Need to fill and solder those slots, slot and tab on the top. But it's coming along pretty good. The only other thing that's kind of irritating me a little bit is the cow catchers. That is such flimsy material underneath. They like to shift on me, and I'm trying to decide, trying to figure out a way to maybe make them more secure. As it stands right now, we're just using one bolt, one stove bolt on each end. It pulls it relatively tight, but it can still work a little bit. So I'm looking for maybe a better way of securing it. We'll see. I also have brass plates right in here. I do know that the whole thing is a whole lot stronger when I've got the brass plates, everything mounted so that I can mount the trucks to it. So that's how we're coming on the hill climber. I'm well pleased with the progress so far. Just a little bit miffed over the fact that it's been so damn hard to solder. Like I say, the brass nuts to that furnace steel, I take the galvanized off of it, just sand it. That's all you got to do, and then it works just fine. And use flux, but that's easy to solder. I even used a torch on this damn thing on the top and just could not get anything to stick. So I did a different process on it this time, and it seems to be good and solid. I don't want to push on it too hard; it might bust. All right, guys, I'll let you go. We'll see you later in the week, maybe with a few more things added onto it, and maybe even have the damn trolley poles on it, which. And have the wheels turned down for it and give it that look. So have a good one. We'll talk with you later. Toodaloo.